Hey everyone, it's David, aka Double D, and we're doing a premiere draft core set 2021. I've been recording a bunch of drafts. I've stopped streaming because I just get super angry whenever I play. So I'm just recording drafts and then, putting up the good ones, I guess. I just finished this one and gonna try to do commentary over it and do a little bit of editing. But yeah, we're gonna just jump into this draft, watch it over for me, but then for you guys, you get to see how it went. And I have to say, it was pretty strong. The power of prowess. So let's give it a watch. First pick, we got a couple of choices. We got Masticore. We have the Hellkite. We have a Bazary Alkalite, Garrick's Uprising, Opt, Goblin Wizardry, but then we have the Scorching Dragonfire, which is pretty much the pick. Early cheap removal is pretty good, so um, I don't think I've seen Masticore be any good, so we went with the Dragonfire. Here we have Palladium Mirror, Feeder Resistance, Roman Ghostlight, Finishing Blow, Goblin Wizardry, and Pteranodon. So we have a bunch of picks here. Went with the Goblin Wizardry. It's a pretty strong card. You get to make 2/1/1s at instant speed. They both have prowess, and overall, it's like a card I pick up most of the time. Other choices would have been maybe the Pteranodon if I wanted to go green red aggro, Palladium Mirror if I wanted a ramp, but since it's early in the draft, I just went red. Here we're moving on to our next pick. We have a couple of choices. We have with white, Daybreak Charger. With green, we have Pride Malkin. And then we have a Roman Ghostlight and Experimental Overload. Here I went with the Experimental Overload. Just stick with blue-red. I'm already in red, and I think the Experimental Overload was a bit more powerful than a Roaming Ghostlight, and we have more chances to see Roaming Ghostlight considering it's a common. So I think the uncommon pick was the pick there. Fourth pick, we have the Chandra's Pyreling. Another Garrick's Uprising, a Rousing Reed, Inker's Cur, and the Weird. Then we also have some white choices there. Out of this pack, I think the strongest card was the Rousing Reed. It gives you flying and you get to loot and +1/+1. Here I picked up the Jeskai Elder. Looking at the other choices, there was Inventory and Llanowar Visionary. Both cards that you could draw with, but a Rousing Read on a Jeskai Elder was going to be pretty strong. Here I had a choice between Larcenist and Magmut. Magmut was 2, cost 1 in a red, and the Larcenist cost 2 in a blue. So I ended up going with the Magmut just because it's a 2-drop. Here, another Garrick's Uprising. So, I mean, a green deck would have been strong. I just ended up taking the Mythic Rare because I wasn't going to play anything else. Took another Rousing Read. Very strong card. Took Opt. And then here, didn't really have anything, so just picked up a Short Sword. here didn't really have anything for me, so I just picked up the red card. Took the Wall of Runes, maybe a playable if I don't have enough playables. Picked up a late Frantic Inventory, good pickup. So we have the Rousing Reed, 2 Rousing Reeds. We could put it on the Experimental Overload token. Could put on a Magmut. To Read the Tides, playable card, and Bad Deal was a bad deal. Second pack, first pick was Volcanic Salvo. We see another Rousing Reed. Or not a Rousing Reed, Roaming Ghostlight. But the Volcanic Salvo is pretty strong. Gets to take out 2 creatures for like maybe a limited amount. Here we finally pick up a Roaming Ghostlight. And next pack we got an Immolator, Heartfire Immolator. It's got Prowess, and then you can use it as a removal spell. And we see another one, which is the pickup, I believe. I wasn't trying to exit the draft. I was just looking at my converted mana costs. I was gonna maybe pick up another Goblet Wizardry, but I think the correct choice here was another Heartfire Immolator. It's got Prowess and also more removal is always good. So we currently have like 4 removal spells with the Immolators, the Dragonfire, and the Salvo. And here we get rewarded and we get another Wizardry. So I think it was a good choice to pick up the Immolator. Here we have either Reign of Evolution or a Larcenist. Also could maybe picked up the Turret Ogre or the Fur the Bidden. Ended up going with the Larcenist. Reign of Revelation would have been a fine pickup though. There I took the Spellgorger Weird. It's like having permanent prowess. And oh yeah, I took a look at my deck to see if I had 2 ofs to take the Chrome Replicator, which I ended up taking anyway. I mean, there was nothing else in that pack, I think. Picked up a Crash Through, good draw 1 for 1. Picked up some mana help. And yeah, I just started going through the packs. And last pack, I don't think there's anything worthwhile. I picked up the Riddle Form. A very strong card in this deck. I'm playing a bunch of instants and sorceries, so it's going to get activated a bunch of times. And I mean, the other choice would have been maybe a Frantic Inventory if the Riddle Form wasn't there. Maybe a Turret Ogre, but yep, picked up the Riddle Form. Here we got a Dragonfire, another good removal spell. We had a Bolt Hound or a Magmut again. think I ended up taking the op. And then we had another Rousing Reed, Snap Pickup. It's the best, probably the best blue common, that or Opt. And then multiple Frantic Inventories. And then Roaming Ghostlight. And I don't know what I would choose for fifth. Oh, I guess the Mistral Singer, the 2/2 flyer with Prowess. Here on the next pack, there's another Spellgorger Weird that we're going to pick up. Here, didn't really have that many choices. I just picked up a Megalodon. Wasn't going to really play it. I think I took the Wall of Runes. Was maybe thinking of playing the other one so that way I could get value off the Chrome Replicator. But so far, pretty good Prowess blue-red deck. Had 3 Rousing Reeds and a couple of removal spells, also 2 Goblin Wizardries. So, and speaking of the 2/2 flyer, there's one for us to pick up. Here we see another Frantic Inventory, bringing us to 3, which is pretty good. Here we have either a Teferi or a Turnislag. Teferi's Protege, and I think I ended up taking that. I think this would have been a really good Teferi's Tutelage. I think that's what it's called. Whenever you draw, your opponent mills 2. But yeah, I picked up another Sweetwater Cliffs to help with mana fixing. And that was the draft. And now we're making the deck. We only need to cut 3 cards from our deck. So I think I went ahead and pitched the Crash Through. It's not really that helpful. I mean, turns on Prowess and turns on the Riddle Form. I also cut the Magmut. Pinging for 1 isn't, as aggressive as I could get with this deck. And then I ended up cutting the Larcenist as well. Could put Rousing Reed on it, but we had other choices we could put Rousing Reed on, and it being a 2/3 wasn't all that powerful. I mean, granted, Jeskai Elder is a 1/2 Prowess, but again, she has Prowess, so it could help. We're off to the first game. Snap Keep. Got 4 lands, a draw spell, removal, and Roaming Ghostlight. Draw Rousing Reed, which will be really good on this Spellgorger. Now I drew a Jeskai Elder, so I could play her and then put Rousing Reed on her next turn. use my mana efficiently. I generated Dragonfire with the Sea Striker and attack for 3. Draw an Opt. Decide to play Rousing Reed first before playing my land, just in case I need to pitch it. No blocks, so go ahead and Opt. And then my opponent just scooped, getting hit for 9, I think. A little too strong. On to the next match. We're against Rodrigo. Another decent hand. 3-lander. Got the Jeskai Elder. Could put a Rousing Reed on it. And then we have draw and removal. I would say it's more than decent. Playing against a Sanctum. I don't know if it was right to play the Rousing Reed, or if I should have just played Riddle form. And my opponent's milling me, or just making me discard. And I wanted to keep all the cards in my hand. This one was a tough choice. Overload lets me create a creature and bring back a card. I ended up discarding the Riddle form. And that time I decided to decline looting. My opponent plays Gale Swooper. Allows me to play Wizardry. And then during their turn, Dragonfire, they're 3-2. And attack 7. Unsure what to do here. I don't think I should have looped. And like now I have no cards in my hand, so decides to play the Mass Blackguard. I'm unable to play the Salvo, so just gonna attack for 2 here. Oh nope, I attacked with everyone. Not a good play there. I mean, it does bring my opponent down to 4, but I should have probably kept it. The Hardfire Emulator. Can't really attack there. Opponent has enough mana to tap my creatures down, but now I have a Salvo that I can play. Activates everyone Prowess. I just have enough to kill. Especially if he spends his mana to attack. That's it. Next game we are against Sky 12100. Got another 3-lander, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and an opt to start the game. Wasn't sure if I were to keep that. Just use more spells. I'm drawing 2 mountains, which kind of sucks, but. Going against Pyrelings, so played a Spellgorger weird to use my mana efficiently. Now we got a Hobble Fiend to go against. And here I could do a trick considering Wizardry is an instant. So I figure I could attack with both and then see how my opponent decides to block. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't. Well, I mean, they could block with the Pyreling. I wasn't expecting the Hobble Fiend to block as well. Weird goes up to a 3/3. Also, so does the Immolator. Then I didn't expect them to sack. Well, I guess. They were gonna lose it anyway, so might as well lose both creatures and kill one of mine. So, but I guess I wasn't hoping for the Hobble Fiend to block. Here I play Ghostlight, hoping to bounce the Pteranodon. Opponent thinks about it and decides to give it hexproof. So now we're back to 2020 and got a 3/2 flyer. He plays an Ogre, which can block my flyer, which kind of sucks. I decided to force the issue, see if he wants to block. He doesn't, so still get to keep my Ghostlight. Plays another Turret Ogre. Pretty aggressive deck for him. He has a 2 4/3s and a 3/3. Now my Rousing Reed, which I could put on my Elder. And gotta discard a card. I think here I was trying to figure out if I played a land or not yet. And I don't think I did, so I can go ahead and pitch to mountain because I don't really need more than 2 mountains. And I'm able to attack with everyone except for the Immolator because I kind of want him to kill something just in case. Wizardry. Opponent's board. I lose my Ghostlight and one of my Goblin tokens. Opponent's still at 4 lands. Plays whatever that thing is. I think it's a strong card. It's a 3 for a 3/3. I draw a land. Still attack through the air, loot away this land, and draw another one. So good times. Opponent plays a shaman, pumps up his 3/3, goes attacking. I draw a Chrome Replicator, but decided to just attack with the Elder. Since my opponent's kind of tapped out, I have the opportunity to Scorching Dragonfire. One thing that could fight me is if we had Infuriate or something, but I think it went the way I wanted to. Also played the Chrome Replicator, just put more attack power out there. Decides to kill my Jeskai Elder, which kind of sucks. I draw a Frantic Inventory, but decide to just go ahead and attack. So inventory into up. And that's enough to hit my opponent with the GG. I think he had a pretty strong deck if I didn't have enough like ways to take out his creatures. On to the next game against Wolf 11. Another 3-land hand. Got a 2-drop, 4-drop, a 5-drop, and then a 12-drop. But I don't think I've ever played it for 12. Jeskai Elder, or something, which I do. When you have 3, it usually pops up. Discard my island, and do I loot? I decline because I like all the cards in my hand. So that's one of the things I don't know if I'm like always supposed to loot. But next turn I could play Wizardry. Here I kind of mess up. I should have played the Mountain. Kind of wanted to loot, so I'm in that predicament again where like do I want to loot after I attack with the Jeskai Elder? It's like, do I want to loot? I foolishly do, but then I drew a Mountain, so everything worked out. But yeah, I should have played the Mountain instead of the island, so I could loot the island and keep whatever card I drew. The reason I want the second Mountain is because Volcanic Salvo leads to red. So we're playing against a black deck with a splash of green. Haven't seen the green yet. Attacks with the Hooded Blightfang. Deals 1 and gains 1 whenever a death creature attacks. So here I have some choices. I could play Mistral Singer and then Dragonfire the Thallid away. But my opponent has 1 black open, so I'm assuming he's going to try and block the Elder and give it Death Touch. So the other choice is to play Roaming Ghostlight and to bounce one of his creatures. Do one of the 3-drops, sets him back to play it again. But I kind of wanted to get through, so I bounced the imp and attack my elder. And here I have the option to loot again, but again, I like the cards in my hand. I could pitch the singer. I think I end up not doing it because I thought the singer would make salvo just cost 2 red, but then that's not how it works. So my opponent creates a pretty good wall for me to not be able to attack with. He attacks with his Thalid. Guess you gotta get some pressure through, but my opponent doesn't know what my next turn is. So here I almost play the Dragonfire, which would have not been right. So here I opt. I get to trigger a bunch of Prowess. And Rousing Reed would have not helped me. I could have put it on one of the 2/2s. But here I draw the mountain. I'm able to Dragonfire one of his creatures. Which triggers a bunch of Prowess. God, what was that? And then we also play Volcanic Fire, kill his other 2 blockers. We just have way too much force. And yeah, I dealt enough damage to kill him. Get a Throne of Eldraine pack, and we're currently at 4 wins. This is what I would call a great draft at 4 wins. 5 is making your money back. 6 is awesome, and 7 is perfect. So far we're at great. 3 wins is like okay, and we're playing against Wall of Runes, so my Jeskai Elder can't attack into it. I mean, it can attack into it, but it's not gonna really make it go away. Have Frantic Inventory and Opt, but it's only going to be 3 damage, so. Opponent plays Fairy's Protege, and I decided to just draw to an answer. Decent answer is my Singer. So I could just fly over. And then my opponent plays Teferi's Tutelage, which, unknown to him, kind of helps me in my Overlord, as I lose one of my Frantic Inventories. So I'm unsure what I should play here. That was why I delayed a little, but I decided to play Ghostlight. Set him back, and he won't be able to use his ability. So my opponent just passes without even playing the Protege back, so Kind of lets me know he either has flash or a counter. So I go for the Heartfire Emulator. It gets cancelled, so that kind of sucks. But then I'm about to end my turn when I notice, oh, I can play Overload. I mean, it's a 4/4. It's a 4/4/4/4, and then I got to bring back Salvo back to my hand. It's pretty good. Here I wonder what my opponent can play. If he plays the Protege, I could just salvo it. But that ends up playing Daggler's Lieutenant, which kind of confuses me here. So when it dies, or the creature that got the +1/+1 counter, he gets to create he creates a 2/2 vigilance creature. So I'm unsure if I should just use Salvo now to kill both of them, and then I will have 2/2/2s. And here I'm about to play it and decide not to. So I just played the Wizardry, create 2/1/1s. And I just attack with flyers. I could have attacked with my 4/4, but then it would have maybe died if he double blocked. So I should have probably still attacked. No, he would have just blocked with the 1/5. So it wasn't like really all that. 4/4. So I draw a Rousing Reed. He has 4 mana up. He decides to rewind, which kind of sucks. So he could still have another counter here, but I mean, even if it gets countered, Prowess is activating, so he knows that too. So I don't know if he would have died, but yeah. On to the next game. I'm pretty sure he would have died because I played 2 spells, so that would have made Singer of 4, and then I had the Ghost Light still, so yeah, that would have been 7 power. And here on to the next game is my first skeptical hand. We got 3 islands, 1 blue card, and 3 red cards, and I figure I'll keep it. I have 3 turns to draw a red source, so my opponent plays the blackguard and makes me discard. And I thought it was strange he played the blackguard, could have flashed him in, but also making me discard was kind of like, I don't have like a good hand. Like, my opponent doesn't know that. I think I would have attacked for 1 and used the discard ability later when like I can't attack for 1 anymore. But yeah, I drew a Swiftwater Cliffs, my red source that I needed, but it comes into play tapped, so can't really do anything right here. I get hit for 5. I'm like, oh man, this isn't looking good. I drew another red source so I could play Immolator, and I could do some combat tricks during my opponent's attack. And as you can see here, he attacks with everyone. I have to use the Dragonfire to activate the Riddle form before blockers. So now I have a 3/3 Immolator and a 3/3 Riddle form, and I'm trying to kill the the ghoul that can come back if you gain 3. I forget it has an ability that lets it sacrifice itself and draw. But since he used the black, I could block both creatures. He wouldn't have been able to pump up the black card. Play another weird. And attack with the emulator. Opponent plays Blood Glutton. And I think I quickly checked emulator. It only costs 1 red for him to sacrifice. And get a bunch of stuff. Decide to kill the Blood Glutton outright so he doesn't gain life. Opponent mind rots me, and which is a valid play. Attack for 5 there, and I have 6 mana, so I'm able to scry twice with Riddle Form. Don't need another land. And Opt is exactly what I needed. Don't need another land. Still draw another land. And that's game. So even with a sketchy hand, I managed to pull through. So there we're at 6 wins. So we're at a awesome draft. Three lander, removal, 3-drop, 4-drop, and then I drew my 2-drop. So good start. Opponent revitalizes. Opponent's got all the life gain. And then decides to swift response my emulator, which I can respect that. Here my opponent looks like he's stuck on 3 lands. And could have played Rousing Read on the Singer, but didn't really need to. Opponent's still stuck at 3 lands. And I'm able to play my Spellwalker Weird. Opponent draws his 4th land, and another Basri's Lieutenant in my way. Here I just Rousing Read. They're weird. Able to pitch one of my lands. Could also pitch the Frantic Inventory, and I decide to pitch that guy. Chrome Replicator is pretty good, but I also already have Ghostlight as my 5-drop there. So. Opponent is digging. Lieutenant. So here, could have played the Ghostlight, but decided to just get all the power. I'll play Wizardry, pump up my Weird and my Singer. Opponent attacks. There's a roaming ghost light to bounce my weird, which is fine play. And here, I will admit this is very greedy. So, play Frantic Inventory, and then I could play the other one and hope to hit a mountain so that way I could salvo the Ghostlight and the Lieutenant. I'm at 11 life, and the other thing I could do is Dragonfire the Ghostlight. But I figured we came this far, let's just win right now. So I play the inventory, get the mountain, play the mountain, and then I was about to Dragonfire again. I don't know why. Because I wasn't sure if this was enough damage. So I did Dragonfire, which was kind of dumb. But yeah, I could have just played Salvo. I mean, he would have had a 2-2, but whatever. I could have just played the Salvo instead of the Dragonfire. But yeah, that was a 7-0. In less than an hour. It was pretty crazy. So, yep. One last look at the deck. We were playing 17 lands. Had the Salvo, Emulators, and the Dragonfire. And we had 3 Rousing Reads, which was really good. A bunch of draw spells. The Riddle Form and Goblet Wizardry. So we kind of had like a very strong Prowess suite of cards, like Wizardry, Spellgorger, Mistral Singer, and Jeskai Elder. But yeah, Wizardry is just like a really strong card, and I think so far I've had the most success with the blue-red draft archetype. Yeah, now I'm just opening packs. I don't really care. This is on the other account, but yeah, I went 7-0, and I have a couple of other drafts that I could post up. There's a couple of 7-2s, and there's one that I don't do too well in. Like, I don't go 7 wins, but there was some crazy games, so I'm gonna try and commentate over it and post them. But yeah, that's the draft. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe and to see more, and if you really like this, give it a like. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.